Hello. Welcome to Port Misery, a GH podcast where we try to figure out why everybody in Port Charles is so miserable this week. It's Tara, y'all. Happy Port Misery Day. It was my birthday yesterday, and so I'm still reacclimating to life at 39. I'm officially 39. And I literally just watched every single episode like 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes ago, so I'm still emotionally scarred by this episode. But oh my God, y'all, it was a rough week. It was a rough week. Like my friend Holly that I usually watch the show with some other people, she was on vacation for most of the week. So I was left to watch the show on my own. And it was like a terrible week to do that because it was like I didn't care about anything that was happening. Like I did not care about anything that was happening, and half of it made me mad. But I got through it. I got through it. I was gonna watch Monday through Thursday because I watched Friday yesterday because my friend came back. Even though it was my birthday, and it was not a good episode. It was not a good episode, and I'm very aware that 2 years ago on my birthday, they had Jason makeup. They had Jason and Sunny makeup because remember when Jason first came back, but Sunny was like crazy off his medicine, and he was like, "You're trying to get me. Like everybody's trying to get me except Ava." And then he was like about to jump off the hospital roof, and Ghost Morgan showed up, and then the very next day, he called Jason. He was like, "We're back. We're so back." And this year I had whatever the hell happened on Friday. It was upsetting. It was upsetting. But I almost crashed out. I was almost gonna be like, look, it was my birthday this week, and this week sucked. You guys know this. And so, you know, I'll see you guys next week. But this starts a vicious cycle of me not doing it. And so to keep my promise to like keep it up, because I am watching the show and I can just give some of my time for this. I got through it. I watched all the episodes, and now I'm here to to relay what I learned from that. And so this is the haunted hospital edition of Port Misery because everybody's being freaking haunted this week. Like everybody. It's like you got Anna being physically haunted by Ghost Peter, but Jason's being haunted. Jocelyn was being haunted for a second. Dante was haunted. Sunny's haunted. Like so many people are haunted. And somehow it's all Brit's fault. All of it. All of it's Brit's fault. But we can't talk about that. We got to pretend like it's Mob Hospital's fault. It makes me mad. Obviously, we have like Sunny and Jason talking about they're shutting down Mob Hospital. We'll see. We'll see. We'll talk about it when we get to Mob Hospital. But yeah, this is the Haunted Hospital edition of Port Misery. But before I even get into the show, so something happened on Twitter because I Port Misery has an IG account. I'm never on it. Like I was on it, like I made that account when Elon Musk bought Twitter, and I was like, maybe I'll jump ship from Twitter, but then I said no, I'm not gonna do that. It's just easier to talk about the show on Twitter because Twitter is very informal. It's very informal. It's mostly people who want to talk, not like brag about their lives, share stuff. But something happened on Twitter this week. Like a lot of people got catfished by like an account that had been there for like years. Like years. I was following this account and there was like two accounts and I was following both of them. I was like, God damn. Not me, not me following both catfish accounts. Now, granted, I didn't really communicate with these two accounts. Like, one was rather new, the other one had been there for years. They had a larger following than me on Twitter. They they would share parts of their lives, and like they had a very like traumatic backstory, essentially. And essentially, all of it was a lie. All of it was a lie. It turns out they had stolen all the photos from this woman who lives like a world away, had no idea that her photo and her life was being used to like generate story for this woman's con. And the crazy thing is like the person, like we don't even know if it's a woman, like the person doing it, like they weren't asking for anything. So it was just like all for the love of the game. This is very weird. Like, all they wanted was weird emotional labor from people and to, like, make people not trust people on the internet for a few fucking months. Like, it's just very weird. But to anybody who listens who was dealing with that, I'm so sorry that you were got by this person. I know some people actually got quite close to her. They were a Charlie fan, so, like, obviously, they didn't really care for most of my opinions on Twitter, but, like, they weren't mean about it to me. It was pretty just like a mutual follow, like, they followed me, I followed them. But I know there's a lot of people who are, like, hurting over that. They just feel really foolish about it and like they got had. And so to anyone who's, like, hurting over that. I am so sorry that that happened to you. Like, that's it's just such an unnecessary thing to do, to be honest. Like, you don't have to manufacture a life to talk to someone on the internet about this 63-year-old silly ass show. Like, to be honest, like, I'll talk to anyone about this show. I don't really care, like, what your life is. Like, I don't really go to Twitter to learn about people's lives. I go to talk about GH if, like, to be honest. Um, but, some people formed what they thought was like a real relationship with this person who was just like lying to them every day. It's crazy. And like a woman, well, two women actually had their pictures stolen, including pictures of their child, like fucking nuts, like crazy behavior. And so like just my best advice for like dealing with people on the internet, um I don't wanna discourage anyone when it comes to, like, talking to people on the internet, because there's, like, a lot of nice people. I've met so many nice people that I was introduced to on Twitter, essentially. Like, I was literally saying last week how I met up with Tracy and Aaron at a fan club weekend. I saw a bunch of other people who I've interacted with on the timeline. They're real people. They're very nice, and they're out there. But there are certain like red flags you can look for, and I think like a lot of people over the week who were talking about it had noticed these things about this person, but, like, I'm not even gonna get into, like, what they were talking about, but, like, the story they had given was so dramatic. It was just so, like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this happened to you." It was almost, like, impossible to call it out. Because what if you're wrong? Like, now you're just this person accusing this person who's been through so much, of being a liar. It was crazy. But, you know if you've been talking to someone for a really long time, if they've been sharing information with you, stuff like that, but you've never like seen them or like heard their voice, I would be suspicious about that because like there's so many ways for us to communicate now, and there's so many people from Twitter that I've met like through Zoom, not like flying anywhere, not putting yourself in any kind of dangerous situation. Like I've just met them like through a Discord server that we're in where you can like make calls on Discord and like you can talk to them and you can hear them. And like I said, I've met them at fan events and like I've gone to see people, like, because I know that they're a real person, and so, like, if they've shown you pictures, but they won't turn their camera on at an event, just keep your spidey senses up when it comes to people online. Because, like I said, this person wasn't asking for anything, which is already weird, like, you were just in it for the love of the game, but there are people who will ask you for money, and, like, that happens a lot too, the actors themselves, like, if, like, a soap star is, like, contacting you through DMs, that's sus. That's very sus. I know, like, maybe a handful of people who have insights with, like, people attached to GH, and that's not even actors, just, like, they just know people who work at Prospect because, like, working at a movie studio is just a reality of life for a lot of people in Los Angeles. Like, I used to work at a movie studio. I didn't do anything technical, I, like, ran a coffee shop, but, like, I've been on one, like, it's easy to get on them. So, like, I know people who, like, they'll see when people are filming or they'll know stuff like that, but, like, it's very rare that someone's like, "I'm just, like, incommunicado back and forth with Steve Burton." And he seems to be the number one person they're scamming with, so, like, be wary of all the Steve Burton accounts on, like, IG or Twitter or all that stuff. Like, Steve Burton got one account and, like, it's very easy to follow it, it's got a lot of followers, like, He got one account. Maybe like the Jackal and Stone Cold podcast got an account, but like that's two accounts. He got one real account. And so like if any other accounts popping up, be wary of that account. But let's move on. Let's move away from that. I just wanted to bring that up just because I know like that some of y'all were dealing with that. And I just want to say, like, so sorry that happened to you. But don't feel foolish and don't be afraid. And you don't have to like show your face, by the way. Don't feel like you gotta show your face. I saw a lot of people who are like, I'm just not comfortable. You should not on Twitter, it is not the platform for you to be like showing your face and like your life and all that. Like be wary of people who run their Twitter accounts like an IG page. And like IG and Facebook are more personal. Like you tend to deal with like your friends and your family. The algorithm is kind of geared towards your friends and the family, like the people you follow. Like even if you're seeing things on Facebook and IG that are not the thing that you don't follow, most likely someone in your follower count does, because like you're hooked up like that. Where Twitter is the Wild West. Like Twitter is like a no man's land, and it has a lot to do with like the tweets you look at, and the tweets you make. And so I'm very much in the GH algorithm because I pretty much only tweet about GH on my Port Misery account. I think I ended up in the BB Twitter account or Twitter algorithm because I started tweeting about Big Brother, but like it's mostly GH and stuff like that. And so like I'm not out here showing my life on like every once in a while I'll be like, here's some photos I just found on my phone. But like it's not like let me tell you my life story and all my personal trauma. It's not anything like that. So like be wary of people who are like that. Like that's weird on Twitter. Like that's not Twitter's not the place you go to do that. Like that's an Instagram career. Go be on Instagram with all that. And so moving on, let's another crazy thing that happened. We learned and I it hasn't been refuted. That's what I'm gonna say. It hasn't been refuted, and I think that's nuts. But we learned that Jack Brennan is not long for this world. It was announced on a very reliable Twitter account that Brennan is being killed off. And here's the thing: the actor who plays Brennan, he's very active on Twitter. Like the man lives on Twitter, and so he didn't deny this. And I feel like he would have denied it if it was not true. And so, you know, that's out there. We might be seeing Brennan get killed off in the next couple of weeks or months. I don't know how it happens. Like, and it's very specific how it's happening. Like, they said that he's being killed off in the line of duty. So it's not even like, oh, Chris McKenna's leaving GH. It was literally Jack Brennan is going to be killed off this show for the WSB. Like, oh, okay. And so I guess we can look out for that. It's very weird. Like, why spoil the story? Like, I'm not mad at the person who dropped the tweet. Like I said, people got insight. And so when people got insight, if they have permission to drop the tea, they gonna drop the tea. And the best you could do, like, if you find out that this account on Twitter has too much tea that's making the show unfun for you, you gotta block that account because they're not gonna stop. They're not gonna stop. Like this is what they do. This is their job on Twitter. It is to have tea and to drop tea. And so I am kind of like whoever gave them the tea, like why tell so much of what's gonna happen? Because it's not even like just you're dying or just you're leaving. It's like you're dying in the line of duty, spy hospital, something's happened at spy hospital. Or maybe something happens at delusional hospital because Willow's crazy. Willow's crazy, and we're gonna talk about it. But let's get into the show. Enough like housekeeping, weird personal stuff happening. Whatever. It's my birthday episode. I can do what I want. I can do what I want. And so, miscellaneous stuff that didn't really fit into my structure of how I do this. So we got. I guess we get this. OG. It's straggler stories. Straggler stories. Serena's here and I don't care about any of it. I really tried to give her a chance. She's not even worth the creation of a new hospital for her in Deception. Like the way I don't care about Deception. I wish this was a story about ELQ. I wish this was a story about a company we care more about than deception. And it's like we heard so many companies popping up. Like we got deception, we got like Jocelyn taking over Jack's Enterprises. We're gonna get to that in a different storyline. We got, Valentine might start bringing up Cassadine Industries. I don't fucking know. I'm more like, Valentine, go try to steal ELQ again so we can get ELQ in people's mouths. Obviously Curtis is over there running the world. Like, I don't care about any of those companies. ELQ is the company we should be caring about. I live and die on that. And so I don't care about Serena. I don't care about any of this. Like, I don't care that she's going to go pop it for Michael. What does that do exactly? What happens there? And she's already caving. She's already caving. Like, it does not matter. But whatever, let's get into it. So she meets up with her mom. Her mom is like, girl, I need you to pop it for Michael. She's like, totally, 100% in. You know what? I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. It's something I offered last week. Like, maybe she's here to pop it for Michael, and here she is popping it for Michael. I'm saying, what's this doing? Who's it doing for? Because you know who pops better than Serena? Michael. And what happens when he starts popping it for her, Lucy, and then all of a sudden she's on Team Quartermain because she about to be a Quartermain. Like, just because she's a Quartermain don't make you a Quartermain. Like, believe that Tracy will keep you locked out that house. That's her house. It's not even Monica's house. It's her house. Monica gave it to her. And so you got to think about this. You got to think long term, Lucy. That's why I can't with Lucy. She's a dodo bird. She's a dodo bird. She doesn't think that, like, what happens when she goes rogue and starts, watching Michael pop it. Because that's exactly what's about to happen. But whatever. She's like, cool, I'm gonna go pop it for Michael. Goes to the MetroCorp pool, immediately almost slips and busts her head on this concrete, but then she falls into Brennan's lap. Brennan's like, hey girl, how you doing? I was staying flirt with you some more, but turns out I'm about to be killed off the show. So we don't even talk to each other. Like, none of this needs to happen because I'm not even long for this world. He leaves. She goes, sits directly on Michael's chair because Michael had been there. He been there for a second. He been in and out of all the hospitals, Mob Hospital, Delusional Hospital. He's busy this week. But she's sitting in this chair. He's like, hey girl, you in my chair. She's like, yeah, I know. I'm ambushing you. He's like, girl, what is happening here? Who are you? And she's like, I'm Serena Baldwin, and I'm here because of what you did to my mother. And me and Michael are like, girl, what did he do to your mother? What are you talking about? What did he do to her? He didn't do nothing. All he did was buy some stock from Maxie. If anything, Maxie did this to her. Go fly to Australia and run up on Maxie popping it like this. What? And so Michael essentially says just that to her, like, hi, my friend Maxie is going through some stuff. Her dead husband came back from the grave, and then it turns out he was not her dead husband. He was an evil long lost twin and played in her face and in her baby's face. So now she got to move down under. And so she does not want to deal with this company no more. She sold it to me, but she don't want to deal with your mom because she's a dodo bird, and Tracy because she's like a selfish cunt. And so she said, go be the peacekeeper in this female run company. Now, do I like that scenario? No, because why are we like, let's get this man in here to like be the level headed person with these crazy hormonal bitches? Terrible framing of a story, but he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Like, he's literally being brought in because he's the level-headed person who will make the decisions that are best for the company. Where, like, Tracy and Lucy, like, Lucy is always going to get conned by a villain because that's happened to her so many times. Or Tracy is going to be petty and do something for petty sake. And so Michael needs to be here. Serena's like, you know what? That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for letting me know. And I'm like, so this is a flop. This is a flop. And it's not for the reasons why other people, because some of y'all were out here being, we're going to call it very creative with how you felt about these scenes. I did not care for them because of what I said last week. I don't think this woman is a shooter. I don't really see it for her and Michael. And it's not about any age difference because I know that, like, some people were like, well, the age difference, they're supposed to be is similar in age. I don't know if they're doing it like, no, like Michael was born in like maybe the early 2000s, even though that's when Jocelyn's supposed to be born now. And then like Serena's born in the 90s. And so she's like a little older than him. But and I wouldn't care about that. I'm down for I love a cougar relationship. I love that shit. And I just don't see it for them. It just seemed like, okay, great. You're here. Glad your mom has her daughter back, and I'm gonna go back to work. Like, what is this? And then Lucy was like crashing out, like, oh my god, Felicia, I made my daughter pop it. Lucy, what do you want? What do you want? You want to get this comedy back or not? 'Cause I can't keep up with you, girl. Like, you literally called her here to pop it, and now you said that you made her pop it? She didn't even fight you on it. She said, "Yeah, let's go." Felicia said that. Like, well, did she just do what you say, or did she fight back? And Lucy was like, "No, she seemed down." Girl, then why are we talking about this? Who cares? Later Lucy calls Laura to be like, I'm gonna try and steal Kevin back from you with my daughter, have my daughter pop it for Kevin, like in a daughter way though, like family pop. And Laura was like, yeah, girl, he not coming back. He not coming back. Turns out that the island of Ireland has adopted him and they refuse to let him go. And so he lives there now. I'm gonna go visit him. And Lucy's like, long distance relationship, that seems sus. Laura's like, maybe for you, but it's not for me. I got this. I got this queen. Um, isn't your daughter a billionaire? Can't she just hop on a plane and go see Kevin if she want to see him? Like, what stops her from doing that? It was just a very weird scene. I didn't need it. I ain't need it. But let's move away from that. Kevin is now a Irish citizen. Get used to that. But okay, let's go to Anna in her haunted hospital with Peter August. So she's accidentally forced to have lunch with Carly and Valentine, and that shit was as awkward as you thought it would be. Like it was so funny. First, she got Peter like literally like goosenecking at her, like, "Ooh, Valentine can't help you. He out here popping it for Carly." And Anna runs into a waiter, and so Carval sees them, and they're like, "Hey, girl, you should come eat lunch with us. Like, come sit down. Come sit with us." And Anna's like, "Cool, why y'all got champagne out in the middle of the day? That's weird." And Carly's like, "Well, we're celebrating because like we just went upside Brennan's head and got Valentine's money back." Anna starts popping off, like, just like, "I can't believe you did that. Like, why are you blackmailing the WSB?" Carly starts jumping in like, "My man, my man, my man. Like, we did a great job." She tries to imply that like Jocelyn's gonna get out of the WSB the way Valentine got out of the WSB. And Anna like rolls her eyes in the back of her head where I thought she was possessed. She was just like, "Girl, it's too late for your daughter. Your daughter's fucked. I'm so sorry." Now, Carly's already not happy that Anna knew that Jocelyn and the WSB didn't tell her nothing. But Anna's like the one person in town who's like, it sucks that your daughter's in the WSB. That shit sucks. Like, we gotta get her out of that. And if I was her mentor, girl, she wouldn't be in the WSB. Nope. She would not be in the WSB. Maybe she'd be in the PCPD. I don't know. Maybe I try to bring her to the forest, but she would not be in that trash organization. I got my you could trust me on that. And Carly's like, "Yeah, but I feel like, if anyone can get out the WSB, it's Jocelyn. She could do it. It's gonna be fine." And Valentine like looks at Anna like, "Girl, just say yes. Just go with it, girl. We can't talk to her about that." And Anna's just like, "Yeah, girl, you know what? I'm Jocelyn gonna prove me wrong, girl. She gonna be the one person to prove me wrong, girl." Love that. And so Anna gets up and leaves. Um, and Valentine knows that Anna is being haunted. He could tell. Yeah. Yeah, he could tell. He's just like, something going on with that. Something's going on with that. Anna goes home, sees Emma, daps it up with her, and then immediately keeps being haunted. Like, Britt's gonna come, Britt's gonna break into this house and chop Emma's head off, girl. What you about to do? And And Anna's like, Valentino, help me. And Ghost Peter's like, nah, he been in Carly over now. What you about to do? What you about to do? You gotta kill Britt. Here's what's up. I know that some of y'all hate it, but I kind of love Ghost Peter. Cause like him trying to get Anna to kill Britt is the coolest shit he's ever done in his, real and fictional fucking life. Like, you better do it, Peter. Britt's gonna be fine. Britt is gonna be fine. She's like the most insulated character. She's more like fucking covered than Sunny is at this point. So like Britt's gonna be fine. And every time he's like, you gotta kill that bitch. You gotta like strangle her to death. You gotta throw her off a building. I love it. I live for it. And so I ain't mad at Wes. You better do it, Wes. And so at some point at the haunted hospital, because like people still trapped in this haunted hospital, because Carly and Val, like I said, Anna took her haunted hospital over there, but they were still at the Metro Court, and I just want to get out the way. Nina comes. It's like all of Valentine's bitches just ran through in the same episode. I was like, who's gonna show up next? Claudette? Like, is Lulu gonna show up? We gonna get a baby mama drop? Like, why are all of his women showing up? But Nina shows up, and Valentine is like, "Hey, girl, how you doing, girl? I just want to thank you, girl. I wouldn't have got my money back if it wasn't for you." And Nina tries to be like, "Nah, Jack did that. That was Brennan. That was Big Daddy Brennan. He did that." And Valentine's like, "Brennan would rather die than do anything for me. So obviously he was doing it for you. So thank you, girl. Thanks, Queen." And she's like, "You have anything else?" And he's like, "I got some advice. Like, he only dating you to get back at me. He mad because I stole his girl. And so now he think he gonna steal my girl because he can't get Anna. He chose you. So you should watch out for that girl because he don't even like you like that. Valentine, why you drag her like that? Why'd you eat her ass up like that, Valentine? That was crazy. Like, Nina was like, now I know why we're not together. You're not together because he been and Carly over. What you talking about? What are you talking about? That's why you're not together. But Carly peeped the game he was playing, and she said, I loved it. I loved every second of it. And they started making out. Love that for them. Love Carvel. But let's go to Hospital. So not a lot of action coming out of Hospital, but they do let us know that they are firmly Team Black Scrubs over at the shenanigans happening at Black Hospital that we're gonna get to in a little bit. But I just wanted to point that out. Hospital is not doing much. It's they got Liz in like regular clothes. She gets to wear plain clothes now. That's how high up she is. She's a board member and she's head nurse. So now she gets to wear regular clothes and a little mini lab coat, little nurse white jacket, and that's what she do now. She's like, it's like what Bobby used to wear. Because remember, Bobby wasn't wearing scrubs after a while. She was done with that life. And I feel like Liz has finally reached that point where she's done with that life. She's done with that scrub life. Like, I don't know if we see Liz saving lives anymore, but she's definitely out here in her plain clothes. And so that's happening in Hospital. But they're all dapping up Isaiah. Like, yeah, bro, we were happy to try and put Curtis in jail. Don't even worry about that. And so let's go over to Spy Hospital. So Spy Hospital, Laura said that she is shutting Spy Hospital the fuck down until Brennan pays what he fucking owes. And he gets his shit together and he gets white East African warlord the fuck out of here. She's had enough. And I was like, you better do it, Laura. Exactly. Like, he ran up like, hey, Mayor Collins, how you doing? She was like, sit down, you old bitch. We got shit to talk about. Like, why is this man still here? Why is this man still here? Brennan's like, well, we can't take him away because he was committing crimes here. Laura said Jason was committing crimes here. You didn't care about that. You didn't give a fuck about where Jason committed his crimes. You took him, you snatched his ass up immediately. Took him to a gulag. But now you can't take White East African warlord. Now the DA's got involved. What you talking about? What you talking about? Brendan's like, yeah, because what we did to Jason, that's why we can't swoop up White East African warlord. Like, that's our bad. Like, we can't be acting like that. We should have done that. Laura's like, all right, bitch. So what you want then? Why you here? And he's like, if someone's harming you, there's some reason for us to still be worried about Whitey Advocate Warlord, we gonna be here for you, girl. Laura's like, I hope so. I hope so. Because I heard that Mob Hospital shutting down. And if Mob Hospital shut down, you better believe Spy Hospital shutting down. I've had enough. I've had enough, girl. And so that was Spy Hospital. I hope it's the end of it. I hope she shuts that shit down. And now we know if Brennan's dying. Yeah, get rid of it. Get rid of that shit. But moving on, let's go to Law and Order Hospital. Just a little bit of Law and Order Hospital. It was really Dante beefing with his Uncle Rick over Liz. It's not even really Law and Order Hospital. I just never know where to put Dante, to be honest. Like Dante is in and out of different hospitals too. Like he's so connected. But Rick was just sort of looking at Dante and Liz like a creeper, and then he ran up on them and was like, "What y'all doing?" And Dante's like, "Oh, I'm just giving her some pointers." And Rick makes some comment like, "Well, if the PCPD's record's any indication, she don't need tips from you, bruh. She don't need tips from you." I said, "Oh wow. Okay, that's what we doing?" And then, Rick was like, "I don't really know if I should be talking to you because I just got back from your dad's house. I can't talk about it, because Sonny be telling me his crimes and shit. You don't get to know that because you a stupid cop." Dante's like, "Okay, like what do you want from me, bruh? Like, I don't really know what's going on right now, but sure." Liz is looking like, "Oh my god, it's happening again. It's happening again." This my thing. Rick, who the fuck cares if Sonny tell you things, if Dante is telling Liz things and she don't tell you about them? Huh, Rick? Like who cares what Sonny tells you if Dante out here telling Liz things? And she's like, "Yeah, talk to me, Dante. I'll be your, shoulder. I'll be your safe harbor to talk shit about your ex-wife too." What you about to do about that? Hmm? Whatever. Rick goes to be a creeper some more. Dante is over here being haunted over breaking the law for his son. And Liz has to be like, who gives a shit? Like, who cares? Who cares if you did that? We be breaking the law all the time. Like, as a person who's been Mob Hospital adjacent for like the past 25 years, quit caring about that. Quit caring about that, Dante, and move on. And I was kind of like, Liz, you right. You right. Move on. Who cares? That sucks. Like, oh no, you had to lie. My God. Who cares? Anna doesn't care. Liz don't care. Bob Hospital don't care. Spy Hospital don't fucking care. The only person who cares is Dante. Get over it. And so that happened. Then you have Anna having like a first date with Mean Girls Detective at the pool so they can like fill each other out, get to know each other because Dante hired him. And she been in the nut house this entire time. So welcome to she new boss who's in the house. But they seem like they cool. They end up dabbing it up. She takes the time to trash Cassius Clay Faison some more. She was like, he betrayed all of us. Ooh, she hates these people so much. Let's see if she enlists Mean Girls Detective to help her try to murder Britt. But that's pretty much all that happened in Law and Order Hospital because Law and Order Hospital and Black Hospital crashed into each other because we had this stupid whack trial this week and it was as whack as you thought it was gonna be. I spent the entire time mad. But Drew comes up early in the week talking about he agrees to help Curtis at his trial. Great. Great. He essentially agrees to tell the truth because he was lying when he said that Willow did it. But Drew apologizes to Curtis, which is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Out of all the people who Drew owes an apology to, Curtis is like the last one. The last one on the list. Like, you didn't do anything to Curtis. Like, that shit's crazy. But he's like, oh my god, they tried to keep my baby from me too. Nobody tried to keep your baby from you, and no one was talking shit about you, Drew. Like, you're so paranoid. I can't believe he was cleared by a neurologist. He was like, yeah, the neurologist said I'm good. There's no way you could be good. There is absolutely no way you could be good. There's got to be something wrong with you, and there's got to be something wrong with Curtis. But whatever. He says I'm down to just like tell the truth, to be honest, because like I was lying to begin with. And so we're forced to sit through this ridiculous trial and pretend like Curtis was justified in any of his fucking actions. Like I've never been less on Curtis's side on something. And Jordan looks like a complete idiot. because she keeps asking Portia to lie for Curtis, like classic side chick behavior. Um, Martin is out here trying to say that Curtis was provoked because Isaiah didn't apologize for a crime that Curtis has absolutely no proof that he committed. It's fucking crazy. It's ridiculous. Like if that man had just said he was sorry, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Well, he got his car fixed and he drives a black car in America. Are we stupid? Are you dumb? And, like, there's a point where Martin literally asked Mean Girls detective why he arrested this man fighting in a public restaurant when it was a private domestic dispute. Are you hearing yourself, Martin? It's not private or domestic when you're in public at a restaurant interrupting people's dinner. Like, and we have to sit here and act like there's a point at the end of the trial where Molly's like, well, they really made their case, didn't they? No, they fucking didn't. They did not make their case. That is crazy. Like, I hate when the show gaslights us. You had Curtis do something that was actually out of pocket, but then you didn't have Brooklyn do something that was actually out of pocket, so Curtis looks even more insane. And as soon as you saw the pushback on the storyline, you should have pulled back. You should have ended it. Y'all end stories all the time. You will just drop shit. Do y'all remember who killed Austin Gatlin Holt? Y'all remember who killed him? That's because they never fucking told us. Yeah. Yeah. They set that up to be this big fucking mystery and then they never brought it up again. And so it's not like it's beneath y'all to just drop a story once you see that it's not working. Because one of the reasons they dropped it is because, like, once they kicked Roger Howard off the show by killing him, no one cared. No one fucking cared. Nobody was like, I wonder what happened to that man. Everybody's like, all right, cool. He dead. He was a mob doctor and he was lying to people, but maybe he was cool. I don't know. Who cares? They tried to put him with Maxie. It didn't work. It didn't work. It was weird. And so, okay. Moving on. And so we have to sit through this ridiculous story that they could have dropped at any time because Curtis looks guilty as sin. And what Brooklyn did is not deep enough for him to. I don't care if Isaiah was flipping them off as he drove away. This was y'all's fault. This was y'all's fault. And so Martin gets Portia on the stand, and he's pretty much like, so aren't you a lying ass whore? Didn't you cheat on your husband? Thank the soap gods that Portia was like, nope. That's not what happened. Curtis was having a whole ass emotional affair and left me for Jordan. And so I got together with Isaiah and I wasn't with Curtis at all. Thank you. The truth shall set us free. The truth shall set us fucking free because that's exactly what you're happen. That's exactly what was happening. Y'all, like, I mean, obviously, y'all, the writers have acknowledged this yet, but they were really trying to do '90s rules where you're allowed to have a whole ass emotional affair over here, but the second somebody gets physical over there, they're the fucking cheaters. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Curtis is a bum and Jordan is a side chick. That's what happened. That's what happened. And so then they put Drew on the stand, and he pretty much, like I said, he just pretty much tells the truth because he was lying to Mean Girls detective to be petty. And so he's like, yeah, I don't. Was Willow home? Maybe she was home. I don't fucking remember, to be honest. But he's like, yeah, I have no proof that she wasn't here. And so that's pretty much the trial. Molly's like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. After everybody just talks about how Curtis sucks while he continues to prove them all right. Because he's nothing but antagonistic to Isaiah some more when they get out the courtroom, pretty much threatens him again. Hat Daddy got to step in with that. He tries to bring Jordan back to Portia's house after promising Portia that he wouldn't do that. That if she has to keep Isaiah away from him, then he has to keep Jordan away from her. He's just like, nah, you in that baby's life, so she got to get used to that. It takes Jordan being like, I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that. That's just very rude to that woman, and I'm not going to be a part of it. Like, they're literally writing Jordan, Hat Daddy, and Stella to see that Curtis is out of control, and none of these characters are doing anything about it. And so I have to believe that they're writing this with the intention that Curtis is wrong. that like something's gonna happen and he's gonna have a fall. And Tracy says this really well on Sunday Shift. When people say they want people to pay, they don't necessarily mean they want them to go to prison. They don't want them kicked off the show. They don't want them to die. They want them to face the social consequences that mirror the actions that they took. So, like, people would love to see more people cuss out Brit, but instead, y'all have a lot of people being like, nah, girl, it's not your fault. What could you do? Right? Unlike when Elizabeth kept Drewson from Sam, everybody lined up to tar and feather her through the streets. That's what people want, to be honest. And y'all never let people do it. Like, and I noticed it since around like when Nina was keeping Sonny in Nixon Falls. You didn't really have anyone be mad about that. Like you had his family be mad about that, but why wouldn't they be mad about that? And then like everything else was like there was always a handful of people to be like, well, shit happens, players fuck up. And so I don't understand why you can't have people side-eyeing Curtis. You didn't have to make the punishment either 8 months in jail. You could have made it 8 months community service, and then he didn't want to do that because then he'd be admitting guilt. But you made it so he going to prison either way. And so now he either goes to prison or he doesn't go to prison. And because of what y'all did with Willow, we can't trust y'all to actually put him in prison. People are already assuming that he's going to be found not guilty. They're just going to drag this shit out when nobody fucking wants it. You could have just canceled the story. You could have Austin Gatlin Holted the story and then you didn't. And now we're all forced to deal with this. And the worst part about this is that we know Isaiah is innocent. And so I have to believe that you're writing this with the knowledge that Curtis is in the wrong, the way you're now writing this with the knowledge that Willow's in the wrong. But you can't continuously write characters like this because it's exhausting. Like Curtis is literally exhausting. He's exhausting to watch. Like it is painful to watch the Black Hospital scenes because it's he's so fucking wrong. It's crazy. And so like when Isaiah's at the hospital, because I said Black Hospital, not Black Hospital, Hospital is firmly Black Scrubs. He implies that he lost control on the stand. He did not. He did not. He was fine on the stand. Portia lost it more on the stand than he did. She legit objected in the middle of the testimony. Like he was asking her about, her relationship with Isaiah and Curtis, and she said, I object. And the judge had to step in and be like, girl, you're not allowed to do that. I'm so sorry, girl. You gotta tell us about how you bent it over for these two men. Let's go. Um, but like he didn't object. But at the end of their storyline, we Curtis, who's assuming he's gonna be found not guilty, he's like, I'm gonna cut all this shit off with Isaiah. Like Isaiah's gonna be out my son's life, he'll be out Portia's life, and the harem will live once more. And Isaiah is like, if Curtis isn't found guilty, he's gonna wish he was. And I don't know what that means. Hopefully, it means that he's suing the shit out of Curtis and he takes Aurora from him. I want to play musical chairs with Aurora because who cares about the company? Who gives a shit? But that was Black Hospital. Let's go over to Monica's Hospital because it's like attached to Black Hospital because Brooklyn is a dodo bird. But Brooklyn and Chase adopt that loose baby, which is her end all be all reasoning for everything she does now. It's so stupid. But generic white man number 5 is hot on their trail. So generic white man number 5, he finds new Ethan and beats his ass from the head to the feet, bugs his room, and finds out that Ava knows where that baby is. So he heads back to Port Charles to go deal with her. Here's my thing about generic white man number 5. Is this a long-term casting? Because all we know about him so far is that he's abusive enough for women to flee from him, and that he beat Ethan from the head to the feet, and that he seemed to be very rude to Jocelyn. Like I didn't like their little meet cute. We're gonna talk about that in the next storyline. So I'll talk more about that. But is this a permanent thing? Like, are you gonna try and make him a thing? Because no, 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 no. He's got wife beater vibes, and that's not that actor. That's how you characterized him. That's who he is to us now. He's a wife beater. I don't like that. And so y'all better do miracles with that backstory, because right now I'm like, get that man out of here. Like, get that man out of here. Like, he's gonna stay generic white man number 5 until for the foreseeable future, until you give me a better reason to give him a better fucking nickname. Because generic white man number 5, no, he is out here doing the most, being violent as hell. But that happened. We're gonna come back to him at young adult hospital. But he knows where that baby is. They adopt the baby, they're like, "Oh my god, what she should know about her dad. What about her dad?" Alexis has to be like, "Okay, she's not gonna know about her dad, even if you don't adopt her. So do you want to adopt her? Because I don't really have time for this, babes. We do not have time for this. Sign the papers or don't." And so they sign the papers, they adopt this baby. But I'm sure we're gonna find out none of that's legal because Ethan's not even the baby daddy. And so skip forward to how this affects Black Hospital. So Tracy is trying to get Brooklyn to leave town so she does not come forward about being on the road that night and not running Jordan and Curtis off the road because she didn't do anything wrong. Who cares about this? This is such a nothing burger storyline. This has nothing to do with Curtis being an asshole a week after the fact. And so who cares about it? Like she didn't even do anything wrong. They literally talking about the only thing she would be like fined for would be hitting a guardrail. Like some pollution bullshit. Like you littered. It's ridiculous. And so who gives a shit? And Tracy's literally like, "Girl, learn from it, pray on it, and move on. Because we don't have time for it." And of course Brooklyn's like, "I can't lose Chase and I can't lose this baby. So ooh." And so we're moving on. And so let's go to young adult hospital because it also affects Black Hospital. All these storylines go into each other. So first, let's start with Jocelyn, get her out the way. So Jocelyn is out running in the park, post gunshot wound in a sports bra. No wound, no scar, no nothing. We couldn't even get her in a t-shirt to pretend like she had a wound or a scar. She was literally doubled over in the park, out here clutching nothing. Clutching bare skin and being haunted by a shot that, as far as we're concerned, didn't even happen. Cause she out here looking cute. She out here looking cute with her booty shorts on and her sports bra. No scar, no problem. Post gunshot wound jogging in the park. I've had friends who had C-sections and they couldn't even bend down to pick up their newborn babies for 6 weeks. But she out here, no wound, no scar, jogging in the park a month out. All right. All right. And so she goes to work with her booty shorts on. I said, "Girl, you not gonna put the ugly pantsuit on? You ain't got an ugly pantsuit in your locker or some bullshit. You had to show up to this man's office in these booty shorts." But she ends up walking in on Nina and Britton making out, and she's as disgusted as I was by the whole situation. She said, "Ugh, no." And she tries to warn him about Nina being a evil pigeon. And she brings up all the stuff that Nina did with Sonny, like, making her think he was dead, and making Sonny think that she didn't know him. I'm like, don't you hate Sonny? Don't you hate Sunny? Whatever. We can't keep up with Jocelyn and her, sad girl ponytail, no wound, no scar having ugly pantsuit self. We can't keep it up. We can't do it. But Brennan pretty much tells her to shut up. Like, shut up, girl. I'm not trying to hear that, girl. This is what I'm doing now. It doesn't even matter because he's about to die. I love how he's gonna die right when I decided to stop calling him Pikeman. It comes at you fast, doesn't it? Comes at you fast. And so later on that week, generic white man number 5, told you we come back to him, tells her that she just got important at a job she didn't know she had. Yeah. Yeah. Jax gave her his company to run while he goes and circumnavigates the world. What? What are we doing with Jax? Are we recasting Jax? Are they killing Jax? Like, this seems sus. Since we know that generic white man number 5 ain't shit. He out here beating Ethan from the head to the feet. Literally got women fleeing from him. Like, pregnant women are fleeing in the night. Like, he's sleeping with the enemy to get away from his ass. And so, what's going on with Jax? But Jocelyn's like, "Yeah, I don't wish to have this company, but thank you so much. I don't know if we can find my dad, if we can send him like a carrier pigeon to go, maybe a seagull to go contact him, but I don't want this company, so we're gonna have to find someone else to take it." Generic white man number 5 pretty much just starts calling her a stupid spoiled bitch for not just taking the job. And she's like, I'm a WSB agent. I already have a job. Girl, should you be telling everybody this? Why is she telling everybody? She's telling everybody. She's telling the world. Like, how are you supposed to go on undercover if you out here updating your Instagram page, talk about I'm in the WSB? Let's talk about it. That's crazy to me. But she's telling everybody. And he's just like, okay, girl, this seems sus. You don't seem like a WSB agent, but whatever. She's like, listen, give me a list of people who can run this company that are not you, and we're gonna put them in charge because I'm busy. So we're gonna figure out what's happening with that. Like I said, what's going on with Jax? It's weird. It's weird that we're even bringing it up, and we're bringing up Jax Enterprises as opposed to EOQ. But whatever, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. And so, let's go over to the other young adults because, like I said, this ties more into Black Hospital. But we go over to Anna's house, and they really got these grown adults playing a board game. Yeah, they're playing a board game. Maxie Jones was stealing pills from the hospital to give to a married Lucky so he would keep banging her when she was younger than these kids. But they're out here playing board games. Okay. They're playing board games to distract Trina from Curtis's trial, and I'm like, girl, go to the trial or don't go to the trial. Care about your parents or don't care about your parents, but this is a stupid thing to have these kids doing. Like, the kids back in the day were out here stealing each other's boyfriends, drugging each other, stealing stuff, being in mob hospital, doing so much stuff, and they're out here playing board games, watching Jungle Cruise. Okay. But they're playing this board game. Brooklyn calls from that Surf Lodge restaurant they always have. And she's like, Gio, where you at? What's going on? Like, you supposed to be here at the contract signing. They forgot. How did you forget? What do you mean y'all forgot? Y'all forgot that you had a whole life-changing event happening? You decided to play a freaking board game? You decided to play apples to apples? Whatever. Whatever. So they run down there. Wait, before we do that, two things we learned this scene. One, we learned that apparently Trina did graduate, but no one else did. So Jocelyn's a dropout. Emma got another year. Gio also dropped out. Kai got another year. I don't know. It just seems like Trina graduated. We didn't have any fanfare. We didn't celebrate that. We didn't care about that. And that hurts me the most because this is a big life event. College is hard. Like, it's meant to be hard, babes. If it was easy, everybody would do it. And so it sucks that they weren't out here celebrating her. She was like, I didn't want it. Girl, why? Why didn't you want it? And Gio is now calling Brooklyn mom. The fuck that start? What did that? Well, I'm glad for you. I'm glad for Brooklyn. I'm glad that happened for her because I know she was real worried about that. She wanted to have a relationship with her son, and now she does. Apparently, he's like, "This is my mom." And is Dante dead, or is he just still Dante? I would not be upset if he was still Dante because he's very rude to that kid. He's rude to that kid all the time. But I wanted to point those two things out because those are some updates. Trina has graduated. She's not in her 6th year of college, thank God. And that Brooklyn is now officially Gio's mom. And he calling her mom. Cool. But Gio and Trina and Kai go to the Surf Lodge to go sign that contract. Creepy Rebecca producer immediately hates Kai. She's like, who is this? Who's this man? And he's like, I'm Trina's boyfriend. Doesn't even introduce himself with his name. Just I'm her boyfriend. And he said, oh, no, I'm not going to shake your hand. This is a problem. And here's why. And so he essentially tells Brooklyn, like, that Kai person needs to go and Trina and Gio need to be in love, or I don't know if this will go through. And so Brooklyn goes and tells Gio and Trina that they're immediately like, no, we have partners and it's not each other. And Brooklyn's like, no, it's fine. We just gotta come up with a new plan. Nah, because that man said they need to be together. And if they're not together, then this is not happening. And so what are you about to do, Brooklyn? All because you feel guilty that you didn't run Journeys off the road? And they literally had stupid Brooklyn talking about, well, if I just come forward, then he would have never even suspected Isaiah. That has nothing to do with anything. Everything that happened after is Curtis's fault. It has nothing to do with anything. If you didn't want to tell this story, then you should have just been like, Let's Austin Gatlin Holt it. Like, we drop stories all the time. All right, whatever. But before the episode ends, where we deal with that, we get more of the Trina Robinson Pinterest board that the stalker started, where he's just pulling photos off IG, and I'm like, that's not even really stalking. Like, these are public photos, so it's like there's no action shots. There's no just Trina walking to her car or Trina coming from the gym or anything like that. It's literally just stuff you can find on Instagram. So like, is he a stalker or is he a stan? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And so, final thing, and this hurt me the most. Ava offers to make Trina a partner in the gallery, and she turns it down to do this whack ass music career that no one asked for. Who thought this was a good storyline? Like, who thought this was a good idea? Like, I really want to know. I'm not anti Trina. I'm not the hugest Trina Robinson fan, I think. And a lot of it has to do with how her character has been written over the past few years. And this is a whack ass thing to do. Like, people were invested in her in that gallery. And just to have her turn around and be like, I have a new dream, whatever. Whatever. Trina says she gonna work part time in the gallery until she becomes, the next freaking Tate McRae, I guess. I don't know. Insert Gen Z celebrity whose music I don't listen to. But before we leave the young adults, Trina does overhear Nina telling Brennan that Willow is trying to reopen Drew's shooting, and she knows that Willow is guilty. And I'm like, didn't y'all come up with the plan to tell Michael that Willow's guilty? Why have you not done that yet? So you could play apples to apples? Like, ugh. All right, let me move away from the young adults. They make me upset. They make me upset. Let's go to Delusional Hospital. So, a lot of stuff was happening in Delusional Hospital this week. It probably should be the main story, but monumental things happened in Mob Hospital this week, and so it got pushed to the foreground. So, let's do Delusional Hospital real quick. So, Nina goes to visit Brennan at the Dick's Sporting Goods that he runs to go throw herself at him some more. And he's like, nah, girl, I gotta work. That's where Jocelyn walked in on it, and she was disgusted. I was disgusted. And then obviously she ran into Carly and Valentine and they started clowning her. I loved it. But in the next episode, Lisa, Nina, and Willow celebrate Willow's divorce. And Lisa not buying any of this. Lisa's like, how did this work out? Like, so this man was obsessed with you and now he just trying to leave you and you can't wait to leave him. And Willow is still out here trying to frame Michael because she's an angry dodo bird. And Nina is trying to get her to see that that is an absolute disaster of a plan. Lisa, like, why would you do that? Like, why would you do that? Didn't they think you did it? And like Willow says some shit like, well, I'm just gonna get Anna to open it because obviously Dante was protecting his brother. And so Anna could get to the bottom of this. Lisa's like, isn't Anna the one who fucking arrested you? Dante was just following her case. What are you talking about? And she's like, well, I was exonerated from that. Lisa was very quick to be like, girl, you were found not guilty. That's not the same. And a lawmaker should know that. And Willow is just as indignant as possible. She does not give a fuck. Nina's getting stressed out as fuck, which is why she goes over to call Brennan, and Trina overhears it. When Nina gets up, Lisa straight puts Willow on notice. Like, do not drag your fucking mother into this. Do not do this. And like, to be honest with you, bitch, don't fuck with Anna. Don't fuck with her. You think you a bad bitch? Well, badder bitches have tried Anna and they're all gone. And so don't do this. And if you're gonna do it, don't get your mom involved. Because what the fuck is wrong with you? Lisa is now trying to save Nina from Willow's terrible choices, essentially. She's like, yeah, the Westbournes are caving in. This bitch is unhelpable. Like, there's nothing we can do for her. And so let me save the daughter I like. Yes, she's my niece, but I wish she was my daughter. I wish I could trade with dead ass Madeline and then she could have whack ass Britt and I have Nina and this money. And so at that point, because Nina called Brennan shows up to the pool the next day to ask Willow to stop being such a stupid, vindictive bitch, essentially. And Willow's attitude throughout all of these scenes this week was so annoying. She out here like my tower is high, my way is lit, my sword is mighty, and my purpose is holy. And she's wrong on all accounts. She's wrong on all accounts. Brennan is really trying to talk to her like, listen, you did that shit. You know it. I know it. Anna knows it. Your mom knows it. Fuck, Michael knows it. And so why are you trying to like open this up? This is not going to be good. What happens when Anna, who's also a spy, like Dante was a spy for like one summer in 7th grade. Anna been a spy most of her adult life. Pretty much since before her entire adult life, she's been a spy. And so she'll find the footage. She'll find the footage of you driving down that street, bitch, and then what? Now I gotta deal with her. Willow's really like, that's on you. I don't give a fuck. Like, if she run up on you, she run up on you. Keep your head down and shut the fuck up. It's wild. It's wild. Does Willow kill Brennan? That's a theory that's running around, that Willow gotta kill Brennan. I find that funny. If he gets killed by Willow, he ain't never had it. I told you, give him a broom. Give his ass a broom, and you didn't give him a broom, and now he out here getting killed by the head of the White Dora Milaje. That's crazy. Let's see what happens, though. We don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see what happens. But because Brennan rolled up on Willow, Willow goes and runs up on Nina. And she's like, why did you tell Brennan that I'm a terrible mother? Girl, what? Girl, what? Me and Nina are so confused. We are so confused. She said, I said you were being a stupid bitch, not that you were a bad mother. Get it straight. And they start squabbling over this. Put a pin in them. We're gonna come back to them in 1 second. Let's go over to Michael. So Michael is now forced to be in delusional hospital because Willow is such a crazy bitch. Also, bye bye random sex worker. It was good to know you. I thought you would get your name soon, but it seems like you're not long for this show. I'll get into it. So Michael was at the pool with random sex worker when Willow showed up with Wiley right before Brennan ran up on her. She threatens random sex worker, and random sex worker tells her to catch these fucking hands, bitch. Like, catch these hands. If you wanna go, then go. Willow ends up getting a restraining order put out on random sex worker. And random sex worker responds by spiking Willow's coffee. Spiking it with Molly or some shit. It's very fucking random. Okay? Um, but she's able to do this because she took out that restraining order, and like random sex worker works for Nina. And so Nina and Willow were having this fight about like, why did you take out a restraining order on random sex worker when you already trying to frame Michael for this crime that you committed already? Like, why are you doing all this? Like, and Nina literally tells her, like, you feel like because you a congressperson and you doing okay with that job, and because you put one over on Drew, that you're untouchable, and you're not untouchable. Like, you're making mistakes. And random sex worker shows up. And so random sex worker had literally gone to creepy council person to get these drugs from him. The fuck is that? Why is this old ass white man got the connect? That's crazy. Like, shouldn't he be getting the connect from her? But whatever. She gets these like Molly or whatever. Cause the way Willow's acting on Friday's episode, it seems like she spiked her with some Molly. Don't ask me how I know that. Don't ask me how I know that. But she comes by with like Nina's laundry or some bullshit. Willow's like, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna leave, I'm going in my room. And so she goes in her room. Nina's like, let me go take this laundry into my room, get you the shit so you can get out my house. Random sex worker sees the 2 coffees that Willow had brought for Nina and herself. Now, I bet you're asking, if you didn't watch, how did she know which coffee to drug? That's because Willow went to the one coffee shop that personalizes multiple drink orders. I say this as someone who ran a coffee shop on a major intersection of LA around a bunch of office buildings that have large multiple orders. This does not happen. This does not happen. We can only put one name in the computer. Like, if you order multiple drinks and they ask you for a name, this one name. And it's gonna be your name, it's gonna be on all them drinks. Only time I've ever seen individualized drinks is when I was working at Sony. I was running the Coffee Bean on Sony's backlot, and stages would bring their orders in, and they would have their own tags that like have their order on it. And so it'd be a situation where they'd have like a list, and the register could ring up all the drinks so they can pay for it, and then the tags would get handed to bar immediately so they can start making those drinks even before they popped up on the screen, because like they would come in with like 50 drinks. Right? We got to get that shit started immediately. And so I say all that to say is that you would never, unless Willow paid for those drinks separately and said like this drink is for Willow, this drink is for Nina. It's very rare that you get to a coffee shop or any type of food establishment that can put multiple names on multiple orders without actually splitting the check. But that doesn't matter. I'm just telling you how she knew what drink to drug. But she drugs the coffee. She ends up telling Michael about the restraining order and that like Willow's gonna get what's coming to her. And Michael's like, what does that mean? What does that mean? That's weird. What do you mean by that? And then I guess on Monday she's gonna confirm that she drugged Willow. Now, Michael is not happy about this, and I'm gonna be so real with y'all. I get it. I get it. I did learn on Friday that I ain't out here hating as hard as some of y'all, and I'm not even mad at y'all. I just disagree because there's like a lot of people who are like, I don't understand why Michael's gonna be mad at random sex worker on Monday. Wiley almost drank that coffee several times. Several times. I think I saw one person who was like, well, it's still Willow's fault because she had her coffee drink out where her kids could get it. Caffeine, is it good for kids? No, but Molly's worse. Molly's worse, and like she has to always assume that Willow might be around her kids and that her kids will drink off her drink. Cause like Wiley having a few sips of coffee and finding it hard to go to sleep that night is not the same as Wiley having a few sips of that coffee and needing to be hospitalized. Because like she gave her like 2 tabs of that. She gave her a grown-up dose. And so when you're a parent, I would imagine that you're not allowed to move like this. And if we're going by history of the show, this is exactly what Kiki and Morgan did to Michael to try and get Avery back to Sunny. They drugged him. And he ended up putting Avery in danger. And so her doing that puts his children in danger. And I don't really like the framing of like that's the mother of my children. But they do that shit all the time on General Hospital. That's always Sunny's excuse for not killing Ava or, forgiving Carly or Alexis or some bullshit. The mother of my children. Whatever. But like what sis did, and I understand this idea that it's only happening to kind of soften Willow. And they were successful when it came to me because like I just don't like the idea of anyone being drugged. This is kind of my own weird personal fixation. I don't like the idea of someone being taken advantage of like that. Like that's really fucked up. And so while I hate that it does soften Willow and it doesn't really soften her for me enough for her to not pay for her crimes, it's still foul. Like what she did was foul as hell. Like over some shit that Michael could get thrown out with the right lawyer. What you talking about? You didn't have to do any of that. And Willow is legit high as a kite. She out here dancing and stuff and, dapping up her kids. She about to get into a car. Like, it's not good. It's not good. And so that's what's happening. So yeah, Michael's now in delusional hospital, but Ava's also in delusional hospital because she's a dumb bitch. Who fucking knew? But Sunny called Ava over to ask what she did to New Ethan to make him leave town, which I think is so funny. Like, damn, what do you think he did to her? What do you think she did to him? That's weird. But I can't believe this would set Ava off. It's so stupid. But Ava's like, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. And then she asked if Sunny asked Ethan to kill Drew. Sunny didn't even know that Drew was up and about, to be honest. He was like, what? No. Is that what you talk about with Avery? And they started doing some tit for tat stuff. And Sunny pretty much like, girl, mind the line or I'm gonna kill you. And so Ava ends up meeting up with Drew, and it looks like they're about to become a thing. It looks like they're about to become a thing. How's that supposed to work? Like, how, what about Nina? You know Nina be opping with his ass so hard, and you about to go bend it over for him? All right, whatever. Also, why does Drew hate Sonny so much? What did Sonny do to him? Sonny didn't do anything to him. Like, besides adopt Michael, like, long before he even knew that man. Like, it's so weird to me. And they're like making this quip about Morgan, like his son is dead. I'm like, so are we pretending that Ava didn't switch Morgan's meds? Like, are we pretending that she didn't have a huge part in that? Like, whatever. Whatever. Let's go over to Mob Hospital. So Michael learned that Joss is in the WSB and he don't give a fuck, to be honest. And Carly hates that. But then he does seem to give a fuck when he finds out that she was shot and he didn't know. How did Michael not know that she was shot? But Trina did. The fuck? That's so weird. Joss was getting all sorts of visitors and shit, but Michael didn't know about it? Whatever. But he's pretty much like, what can we do? There's nothing we could do. And Michael got to protect his kids from Delusional Hospital. And so I just wanted to get that out the way. Didn't know where to fit it. It was technically a mob hospital event because it took place at the mob compound at Carly's house. And so let's go to the main event. So obviously, Sonny and Jason have a mob breakup. It is hands down the most emotional breakup that either of these men have ever been through in their lives. It was as emotional as you thought it would be. And I have questions. So, does he not work for Corinthos Coffee anymore? Is he selling his stake in that? Because that's a legitimate business. And they have a bunch of legitimate businesses. They have like tow trucks and coffee shops and so many things, like besides the fake purse empire. But he's like, I can't kill for you anymore. Like, Jason gives the whole story about how he let Big C live so he can go to this high school basketball game that he didn't even make it to. And how Dante tried to, take him in, he headbutted him, and then Rocco killed or shot Big C. I'm like, everything that Jason is saying is Britt's fault and Spy Hospital's fault. It's none of it is Mob Hospital's fault. Like, I'm so confused. Like, you would have been on that roof to kill Big C for Britt. Sonny gave you more reasons to do it. Also, Jason is really talking like he only got one son. He's really talking like I gotta do it for Danny. Like, what about Jake? You said fuck Jake. I ain't getting out for him. It's very weird. It's a very weird scene, but the history between Sonny and Jason and between Maurice Bernard and Steve Burton really make it work. It was a very emotional scene. That's why I'm just trying to find some levity in this. But Jason essentially like, I can't kill for you. And I'm like, were you not doing 75% of this shit for Britt? Like, Jason is 1000% right to put his son first, but how are you supposed to do that if you are constantly having to rescue this goofy bitch? Like, that's my main question when it comes to this whole, like, I'm done with the mob. Whatever. But he's out. They hug. It's very emotional. And so Jason goes back to the Q's. He tells Tracy that he quit. Jason post mob, he wears polos now instead of t-shirts. Did y'all peep that? He's like in his button up short sleeve shirt era and stuff. So it's not really a polo. Short sleeve button up, whatever. He's in that era. He's dressed like one of my goddamn shift supervisors back in the day because we had like we had a it was like a shirt hierarchy. If you're ever looking for the GM at like a McDonald's or a coffee shop, like a Starbucks or a Coffee Bean, Pete's, whatever, look for the person wearing a button up, like short sleeve or long sleeve button up. The managers wear button ups. The supervisors tend to wear polos, and the baristas or the people on the lowest on the totem pole, they tend to wear t-shirts. And so with with Starbucks and Coffee Bean especially, t-shirts are baristas, polos are supervisors, button-ups are managers, and it's a t-shirt hierarchy. And so Jason's in his manager era, I guess. Like, he got his button up, he's got his collar popped. Like, he said, I'm living for my son. I'm living for my son. Tracy is very pleased. She's very pleased, and she said that Monica and Alan will be pleased. All of Monica's hospital is pleased. Everybody's happy about this. Sonny tells Dante that Mob Hospital is coming to a close. We are shutting Mob Hospital down. It's a going out of business sale for Mob Hospital. First, he pretty much tells Dante that Jason quitting is his fault. And Dante's like, how is it my fault? What did I do? I don't understand. And Sonny was like, because you out here arresting him in front of his baby at the basketball game. Why'd you have to do that? That's stupid. Dante's like, that fool headbutted me. He headbutted me. We could have been so cool about this. And then he headbutted me and ran off. And all of a sudden, he catching WSB bodies on the freaking dock. We all know why he had to do it, but I didn't know it back then. I begged him to tell me what was up. He didn't tell me. So how's this my fault? Sonny's like, yeah, whatever, fine. Don't take the freaking L. That's cool. And then Dante launches in like, I'm gonna be so real with you. Like, who's gonna stand in front of you and take bullets for you and go to prison for you or the rest of Mob Hospital if Jason leaves? And Sonny's like, there is no Mob Hospital without Jason. We're shutting it down. We're shutting the studio down. And so this is the end of Mob Hospital? Question mark. Here's the thing. I don't think it's the end of Mob Hospital. I don't think it's ending. Here's why. There's always a bigger fish. There's always a bigger villain. There's always a threat that comes in. And it's so easy to write a threat. You could have them out the game for 3 years and then write someone in. And all of a sudden, at the end of the storyline, they look at each other and they're like, that's why Mob Hospital will never die. And so, if it's the end of Mob Hospital, it is the end of an era. It's like more than 3 decades. If we're going past Sonny, Sonny takes over the mob in, I think, 95. And so it's 31 years of the mob, just under Sonny. But the mob's always been there. We had Frank Smith, Duke Lavery was in the mob, Luke was in the mob. Like, the mob has been a part of General Hospital since the 70s. And so are they ending it? I don't know. I don't know. But if they don't end it, I'm not going to be like, I can't believe it. They said they were ending it. They said they were out. They've said this before. But that's pretty much all I got. Make sure to like, subscribe. I probably already put it in the corner, but like I said, I'm trying to build up on YouTube just so I can do more stuff with my account, to be honest. It's not to make a bag. Like, so yeah, if you're not subscribed, maybe subscribe, like the video. But thank you guys for listening, and I will see you next week. Bye.